Alright rednecks, welcome back to another Baja Bourbon build video. We're right now headed over to my parents' house to get my dad's Suburban, hook up to his car hauler, and then we're going to go back to my house, load the Baja Bourbon up, and then we're going to head over to my buddy's house and we're going to get the rear spider gears welded up. So why don't you tag along and we'll show you how it's done. Alright guys, we are at my buddy's house. We just got it on strap. We're going to get it unloaded, get it inside, and then we can get that rear end welded up. So. First things first is we need to get this cover off. We're going to try and catch all of our fluid in a pan, and then we're just going to throw it back in. I don't really obviously care what condition the fluid's in, as long as there's a fluid in there. It should last long enough for what I'm going to be doing to it. So let's gun this rear cover off and get that thing drained, and then we got to get it cleaned out and we'll be able to weld the spider gear. So yeah, let's get to it. With all of the bolts out, but two of them here at the top that are loose, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pry bar between the cover and the rear diff, and I'm going to tap it in. We're going to pop that cover seal, and all the fluid's going to drain into our drain pan in these two bolts that are still threaded in up here, only finger tight. They don't need to be tight, they don't need to be loose, you know, I mean they need to be loose, but I'm going to tip that forward, fluid's going to come out, and then we'll take the cover the rest of the way off and clean out the diff. But I have to show you this. I found this in his toolbox. We gotta use it. Look at it, so cute. Alright, we're gonna let that drain for a little bit, and then we'll remove that cover. Alright, if you take a look inside, this is your ring gear, and then your pinion gears in the back right there, and then inside of here, those are your spider gears right here, all inside that cage. Well, what he's going to do is in the corners where they meet, there's four of them, there's one up top. What he's going to do is he's going to weld them all. So what happens is when I spin one tire, if you look, one spins one way, one spins the other. When you weld those, your tires move together. So that's all there is to actually making this thing all, or like a posi. When you put a posi rear end in, what that is you get rid of all these gears, and it just puts a straight through lock between the two sides, and there's no more spin between the two sides. So that's all we got to do. So alright guys, we found out something interesting. This thing actually has limited slip on it. So if you see, this is actually what engages your limited slip on the rear end. And my buddy said he's not comfortable welding on it simply because he's never welded on one with a limited slip. So I think we're going to be putting the cover back on and just filling this back up. So that's kind of unfortunate and kind of cool at the same time. So it is the next day, and right now we are working on my brakes for my dad's truck. They are metal on metal currently, so had to get those replaced because next week I'm hoping to trailer this thing up in the dunes. As far as the rear end goes, we ended up just putting the cover back on, resealing it, putting the old fluid back in, and if you look, we put new shocks on the back. Well, the reason for that is those ones extend a lot further. So what we're going to do is, me and my buddy looked it over, and we got some plans here which will make sense. We're going to make a plate that looks something like that, 4 inches tall with a spring perch on it. And what we're planning on doing is that it's going to get welded right, let's see if I can get my finger, right about there, and that will lift that spring up 4 inches, which will give us 4 inches of lift. So yeah, I'll go over that when we get everything built. That'll be in another video, but I think that's the end of this one. So like, share, subscribe, and get back to work.